Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and the apostles who rule well and teach well. Salutations to the hopeful elect and the scattered abroad, and men who are out there teaching in truth and in sincerity. In this particular video, I want to go into the component, the facet of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, having the power to raise up the bases of men and also bring down, men to a lowly estate. All right, so the first verse I'm going to read is Ecclesiasticus 11, aka Sirach 11, in verse 14. It says, prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. Okay, so that means anytime someone prospers, it comes from the Lord. Any adversity, any things you're going through in life where it's a lot of, turmoil or adversity, that's of the Lord. Anything dealing with life, death, people like to blame the devil for, people dying, but all of these things come from the Lord. Even when people get rich, people get, they obtain wealth. People who obtain wealth, people who actually remain poor, things of that nature. When you hit the lotto, all of those things come from the Lord, okay? All right, so let's go over to Daniel. This is the basis. Daniel 4, verse 17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. All right, so for example, you got these Edomites. They run the world. The people who run the world right now, they probably think it's because of how great they are and how powerful and mighty they are. These people that rule over us, they think it's because, they just have this great intellect, you know what I'm saying? But in actuality, first of all and foremost, they are the basest of men, right? Esau, he's very base. He's a very base man. But the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, has set him up. He has set him up to be the king over the earth at this point in time. But it just goes to show you, every king, every rulership, every kingdom, every empire, the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, has set it up. He set it up. It wasn't because they were the people, they were just so great. It is because the Most High, he sets them up. All right. Hopefully you can get that understanding. Let's move on to 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 8. Let's start at 7. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 6. It says, the Lord Yahawah killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. All right, so that's the same as, he has power over life and death. All right. It says, Yahawah maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are Yahawah's, and he has set the world upon them. All right, so everything is set up. All of the systems, all of the kingdoms, all of the empires, everything is set up by the Lord of hosts, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Okay, so nobody gets to be in power on their own volition. They are set up, the presidents, they are set up to be the presidents. Anybody that is in power, nothing goes under the radar, nothing happens without Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI putting it in place. All right, everything is perfectly calculated. Okay, let's go to the classic Genesis 2 verse 7. This is Genesis 2 and 7. It says, and Yahawah the power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. All right, so most people will read this and confirm or affirm the fact that, you know, we came from the dust of the ground, like this is as a literal interpretation, you know, and actually breathe it into the nostrils, like, you know, breath. But this is talking about being sealed with instruction. So you take a man that's in a lowest state. This is what it's describing. It's describing taking a man, just like in 1 Samuel 2 and 8, talked about taking the beggar from the dunghill or the poor out of the dust. It's a similar position. So he took Adam, the first one to receive instructions out of the dust of the ground. The dust represents confusion, you know, or no order, disorder, right? So he took him from a lowest state, right? And he gave him the instructions, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's how he became a living soul. It was a quickened spirit, right? It's the words that give life, right? So I'm just saying all that to say that he could take anybody from a lowest state. Even some people may look at people, at certain people as not completely intellectual, or, you know, they're so-called not up to the standards of the intelligent quotient. You know, maybe people look at these, they may look at certain people as having no intelligence, you know, or just not as smart based on the standards of this world. But we remember, if you remember, the Most High, he chooses the foolish things of this world, and he'll bring that foolish things to confound the wise, the wisdom of this world. All right, let me actually look that one up. Let me see. Just to show you. All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 27. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27. It says, but God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and the base things of the world and things which are despised hath God chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. All right, so he brings lowly things what people look at as foolish. They may look at a bum on the street, right? But the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, he can take that same bum and he can set him up and raise him up over, you know, a whole city, over a whole continent. You know what I'm saying? He can give him power and put in him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and raise him up to be a ruler. All right, so that's why you have to humble yourself, and in due time he will exalt you. Actually, let's look that one up. All right, so this is Matthew. I'm gonna read Matthew 23 verse 12. It says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So that's a part of also being raised up. He chooses, he deals with the meek, okay? Now the meek We know the meek shall inherit the earth. All right. Let's go over to Psalms chapter 113, starting at verse 5. It says, who is like unto Yahawah our power, who dwelleth on high, who humbleth himself to behold the things that are in heaven and in the earth, who raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth the needy out of the dunghill, that he may set him with princes, even with the princes of his people. All right, so the Most High, he can take someone who is, not desirable, and he can put them in a position of power. For example, Joseph, right? Joseph, they put his brothers, the other 11 descendants of the patriarch of Jacob, the Israelites, they put him in a pit, right? But eventually, as he went through being captured, and sold, to the Egyptians, he was then, he was sold, and then, he was put in another lower state. He got put in jail, and eventually he became a ruler, alongside of the Pharaoh at that time. Even though he was put in a low position, the Most High Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI set him up to be in power, having rulership, and having the power to make decrees and things of that nature, right? So he could take the poor, he could take the lowly, and he could put them, and it says lifted the needy out of the dunghill. Now, dunghill, that's straight, waste. It could be, it's straight shit, basically, okay? I'm gonna just keep it all the way authentic. This is raw and uncut. All right, the truth is raw and it's uncut. All right. But anyway, so he takes him out of a terrible, terrible estate, and he can put you in a position, in a heavenly state. Okay. All right, so let's move on to Psalms chapter 86, verse 13. It says, for great is your mercy toward me, and thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell. All right, so this is not talking about a place where you have eternal torment. This is talking about a lower state. Okay, a state of hell is a grave state. Okay, so he can take your soul, he can deliver you from a low estate. People be down in the dumps. You've heard that before. Maybe you have, I don't know, but maybe you've heard people just they're down and out. They're just not in the right mind space. Okay, or maybe they're just suffering in a hellish hellscape, right? But he could take you out of that hellscape and deliver you and put you in a more of I would say, a lofty position. Okay. All right, so let's talk about how he brings people into a low estate, a lowly estate. Okay. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Now, this is a famous one. This is a classic. All right, this is talking about the future of Babylon the Great. All right. So it says, come down. This is Isaiah 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay. So it's talking, this verse is talking about the kingdom of Babylon the Great. This is also, you read this is a prophecy for Babylon the Great as well, to be brought down from her high, lofty position to a low, dusty position, where she's no longer going to be called tender and delicate, meaning she's no longer going to be untouchable and, so that she's going to be completely destroyed. Okay, let's read it in NLT. Come down, virgin daughter of Babylon, and sit in the dust, for your days of sitting on a throne have ended. O daughter of Babylonia, never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. All right, so she's gonna be stinking. She's gonna look terrible. She's never gonna have that shine ever again. She's never gonna be adorned. She's gonna be completely shot out. Okay. All right, let's see. Now let's stay in Isaiah. Let's go to chapter 2, verse 12. It says, a day of reckoning coming. It says, for the day of Yahawah of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Okay, so this is another future prophecy about all of the people and powers in lofty positions. Most High Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is going to shake the heavens. All right, so that means that those people that's in that heavenly estate, the rulers, the elites of this world, he's going to shake them up, right? And they're no longer going to be, those stars, of illumination, so-called, running and ruling this earth, all right? Because they've done a terrible job at managing. So they're going to be brought down. They're going to be brought low, right? All right, so I'm going to show another verse in which it shows hell, as a state, not a place, an actual mythological place where you're burning up and being tortured, okay? Not another realm. This isn't another realm. All right, so this is Isaiah 14. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at your coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So this is getting ready for Babylon to be fallen again, the king of Babylon, which this is all figurative. At the time, it was talking about the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. But this is also speaking, this is double to that which is. So a lot of the scriptures in the Bible, they talk about the period in that time. But a lot of things, when you actually read into it, especially with the spirit, you can see that it's talking about a future prophecy. Okay, so this is talking about, this is hell from beneath is moved to thee to meet thee. So it's like that basically the foundation is laid for the sure destruction, of Lucifer, which means those who are in that high position, that so-called lofty heavenly position. All right, so this is figurative. All right, so let me actually read 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? All right, this is talking about those elites, who proclaim themselves to have this light, right? The light of the world. to rule this world, right? The Illuminati, so-called. It says, how art thou cut down to the ground, which that didst weaken the nations? All right. So how did, Lucifer weaken the nations? Lucifer just means light bearer, okay? And Illuminati is basically the personification of Lucifer, because Lucifer is a Latin word for that morning star, light bearer, or actually coming from Venus, because Venus is the star that basically shines before the sun the sun comes up, right? And all of this is figurative, okay? Because the light shines from this star, or the planet Venus, and it's a very, very bright light. So it emanates this light, just like these so-called elites believe that they have this light, and that they are also figuratively sitting in a heavenly state. All right. But they're going to be brought down, cut down to the ground. All right. So that's what Lucifer is about. It's talking about the king of Babylon, which in today's time is Edom, Esau, Edom, and his faction, or his elite families that runs the world, the bankers and all the people that run the system globally, right? All right, but I could probably talk about Lucifer in another video, because it's a pretty simple breakdown. Some people, they mix this up with the actual Satan, the spiritual demon Satan. They think that he was kicked out of heaven. But that's, anyways, I'm gonna read a little bit more. It says, for thou hast said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Right? Above the stars of God represent the Israelites in this instance. All right. It says, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And who said it would be like the Most High? Who wants to be like the son? It's the son of perdition. All right, the mystery of iniquity, the man of sin. All right, and that talks about that in the wicked. The 2 Thessalonians 2:8, talking about he wants to be like the Most High, wants to be like God. So this is a man. All right, this is a man, and you can actually read that in verse 16. But I'm gonna keep reading on. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. All right. Now, keep in mind, this is all figurative. He's going to be brought to a lower state. Okay. The Most High, he's the power to do all of these, to give for prosperity, adversity, to raise up the poor, and to tear down the rich. All right. So in this case, this is, instead of raising up the poor, he's going to bring down the rich, those bankers, the ones who have the fatness of the earth at this moment in time. All right. So how we know that this is talking about a man and not a spiritual demon, Satan? Reading on verse 16, it says, they that shall see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? All right, because, the man who's running the earth at this point in time, he has been a terrorist. He's been a tyrant over the whole earth, and he has pretty much did a lot of destruction. He's destroying the earth as we speak, right? But eventually he's going to take down this base man. All right. I'm gonna actually go to another verse just to show you that heaven and hell can be estates. It's a state. All right. So this is Lamentations 2, verse 1, because really the true stars of the Most High is the Israelites, okay? So this is when Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI was angry at Israel. He brought them low. All right. So this is Lamentations 2, verse 1. It says, "How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger." Okay. So this is about it's talking about bringing Israel from her beauty, right, to basically to nothing, to the dunghill, to a very, very low estate. All right. So once she was in heaven, right, covered by the Most High, but now it shows that she was brought down from heaven, right, and unto a low estate, a hellish estate, okay? All right, so that's pretty much it right there. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Lord willing, you was edified. Shalom.